What's going on, guys? Welcome to Time Dropper for another 2021-22 post-game recap. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Time Dropper Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Time Dropper Pod. So for tonight's episode, we're going to be just talking about one game tonight. That's going to be the Lakers and the Rockets that went down at Staples Center tonight on this Halloween night. Happy Halloween to you all. First time, actually, guys, that I handed out candy to kids trick-or-treating coming by my house, and it was a different experience. And I'll tell you what, it made me feel old, and I didn't like it. But let's get to the game tonight. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Lakers, Rockets. And after that, I'm going to briefly talk about the Premier League, a little roundup for my footy fans, because I did watch some games this weekend in the Premier League. And I'm going to briefly talk about the Rams. So let's start with the Lakers. Rockets coming to town. And if you guys watch my preview, go check it out. I thought at the bottom of the barrel portion with Lucas, I said the Rockets are going to be the worst team in the Western Conference. It's very clear to me that it's the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Rockets. They're just going to be battling out for that worst spot. But the Houston Rockets were playing the Lakers tonight. And, I saw some really good things from the Lakers tonight. In my opinion, this was the best the Lakers have looked, with the exception of a couple of things. I will explain what I think they need to do better. But you also should not just look at the final score to indicate what happened in this game. It doesn't tell the full story. The Lakers were in command of this game, and it started from the beginning. And it started with Frank Vogel making a crucial adjustment that a lot of Laker fans have been calling out for, something that I've talked about in the lives at length. And that was Anthony Davis as the 5 and removing DeAndre Jordan from that starting lineup. Instead, they brought in Avery Bradley, and it made an immediate difference. The perimeter defense was on another level tonight. Bazemore and Bradley put such great pressure on the ball. Obviously, they let him get a little physical, but they still called fouls today. This was a more modern game, but not, modern to the point where it was unwatchable type of thing, like, the last 5 years, but in the sense that it wasn't too ridiculous. But by the way, just to make a point about the officiating, league-wide efficiency is lower than it was since the 04-05 season. Or lower than it was in the 04-05 season. So back to is the NBA getting better and better? My video series that if you haven't watched it, you've got to watch it. It's making me look better right now because it just shows that no matter what, you let these grown-ass men get more physical, it is going to be harder to score. It is going to the efficiency, the numbers are going to go down. Everyone's like, "Oh, these players are just so much more skilled. That's why the efficiency." Give me a break, dude. It's all about the rules as well. Obviously, guys have improved in certain skills, but you know what I think it's really exposing here is, as I talked about the other night, when guys aren't hitting their outside shot, who has inside presences that can go back to the basket and get easier baskets down low? Not many teams, and it's exposing a lot of that, in my opinion. And yeah, the percentages are down. I love that. It's exposing a lot. People's individual scoring numbers are down. But let me say this about the Lakers. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, I think they found the best balance tonight that they found thus far. And I think LeBron did it exactly how I said in my preview with the Lake Show about going more to the mid-post and to the post. And I think he did a much better job of that. Russell Westbrook at the top, and LeBron would bring it up here and there as well. And you know what was good was Russell Westbrook was actually 2 of 4 from 3 tonight, and some of those were off catch and shoot. I remember one time LeBron got an assist to him, and obviously that's not going to be the case every night, but obviously when he is making those open threes, that's great for the Lakers. I mean, huge. So that was big, but mostly it was LeBron off the ball. And I really like the areas in which he was going, trying to post up. It's less charge into the basket. It is taxing in ways, fighting for position. But at this point, I think if you're smart, and I think LeBron has gotten smarter in the post, and I think he has had post game for 11 years or so now, since the 2011-12 season. But it's inconsistent in terms of when he goes to it. And obviously, at times he has moments of choppy footwork. Tonight wasn't one of those moments, though. I thought he had some really nice moves. He had a nice drop step spin over the left shoulder layup in the first quarter. But one of my favorite plays was when LeBron was in the mid post on the left side of the court. This was in the first quarter. Russ gave him the ball. He turned and faced and just kind of surveyed, but didn't survey too long where it's like, okay, they're just inviting you to go. They were sagging off Kent Bazemore, and LeBron, who in my opinion is the best cross-court passer in NBA history, whipped one all the way to the right corner to Kent Bazemore for an open three, and it was just dissection there by LeBron without even a dribble, and that is his brilliance at its finest, and it all comes from being in that mid-post. So, again, Laker fans, I'm not saying it to hate. I'm really being serious. I think LeBron had his fingerprints all over that first half, and even when they went to the bench, I thought Westbrook was pretty good. He was attacking. I thought Anthony Davis, though, was the entity that was in the box tonight in many ways. He was not getting looked for in the first half really at all. He was just kind of a pick and roll man. And I thought his defense was good, though. I thought the Laker defense was sharp. I thought they were getting over screens well, getting steals. Even Westbrook, I thought his hands were very active tonight. Carmelo came in, and he had really active hands in addition to a lot of other things that he was doing. Obviously, you know what that is, getting buckets. But 2 steals and 4 blocks for Melo. LeBron also had 4 steals. There was one play also where LeBron just pushed somebody in the back straight up, and it was so funny they didn't call anything. But he had some nice steals today, some great hands. Westbrook also had a steal and just forced some turnovers here and there. But the Laker defense was sharp. The Rockets, though, in the second quarter, the first quarter, they only scored 15 points. And I thought that with the Laker defense and the intensity increased, it allowed them to get out and run a little bit more. And that's what we talked about in the preview with the Lake Show. We've been talking about all season in these recaps. Lakers got to get out and run a little bit. And that is what they did in that first quarter. It was good stuff if you're a Laker fan. That comes from the defense. That's where the Lakers, as they've said many times, Frank Vogel teams, that's where they make their identity. Second quarter, I thought Carmelo Anthony gave the Lakers a big boost. Again, home court Melo, Staples Center Melo. It's really looking like a thing. Cleveland, I think it was Memphis, yeah. And then tonight, he was just awesome. Coming off screens for that elbow pull up, catch and shoot. And LeBron and Melo are developing great chemistry. Melo's they want him to be a catch and shoot guy that obviously gets his ISO looks. And that's exactly what happened tonight. And he was awesome. 8 of 14 from the field for Melo, 5 of 8 from 3. That is incredibly efficient. 23 points. And obviously I mentioned the 2 steals and the 4 blocks. No turnovers either, a +7 ±. He was awesome. He was the leading scorer for the Lakers again. And LeBron is just, one pass again. Some of these passes LeBron makes take so much strength, and he makes them look so easy. When he was spinning full speed and then kicked it out to Carmelo behind him, that pass takes a lot of strength. It got to Melo. He made the 3. And in the second quarter, LeBron was just putting on his show. He had a little extra something tonight. And you won't be able to tell but from the 6 of 19 field goal shooting and the 0 of 6 from 3. And we're going to get to that and why that happened. I think it was mostly in the second half. But he was playing great in that second quarter. He was putting on his show. He even had a one-on-one switch against Şengün, and he mixed him up. It was crazy, but he missed the shot. It would have been all over your timelines. But overall, I just thought that LeBron was just doing a good job dissecting the defense, getting the ball in really good positions low. He was still turning the ball over here and there. He had 2 turnovers, but it felt like he had 1 or 2 more, honestly, because he was taking some risks with his passes. But that's what LeBron does, and I think you got to live with that, especially if you win. I think he was getting a little jumper happy, but that was mostly in the second half. I thought in the first half, the Lakers were in command, did a really good job. Just Anthony Davis wasn't looked for much, and the Rockets just had a stretch where they could not hit a shot. They were getting actually some really good looks even in that second quarter, moving the ball and making good reads off pick and roll. Christian Wood just could not hit from three. 1 of 6 from three in the game. The Rockets were 6 of 28 from three overall in the game. The only person that actually could hit was Eric Gordon. I don't know how he's still doing, how he's still on this team. 17 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from three for Eric Gordon. So the only shots he made were threes. He was 0 of 4 from two. But yeah, I mean, KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr., 1 of 5 from three. As I said, Christian Wood, 1 of 6. Jalen Green, 0 of 4 from three. He was 2 of 8 from the field, only had 7 points. Turned the ball over 4 times. And the Rockets just turned the ball over so much. In the third quarter, LeBron started just shooting a lot of threes. It just seemed like he wanted to get that going, and he just could not hit, and I didn't like it. Westbrook, he had his fair share of nice pull-ups tonight, but he also had his fair share of just running up the court and pulling up, and one hit like the top of the backboard that could be unchecked in a fool later this week, and just some weird looking shots. And AD, they tried to get him going in that second half, but he's just out of rhythm a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And like, he got really good looks. He ended up shooting 17 shots, but like 7 of 17, 16 and 13. I didn't even notice a lot of those rebounds, but that's not to say that he didn't do a good job rebounding. I'm just saying the Rockets play a lot of 5-out and shot a lot of shots from the outside. They didn't really put too much pressure on the Laker defense at all. Their collective basketball IQs are so poor. I mean, there were so many layups missed on both sides. Stu Lance even pointed it out in commentary. But the reason why the Rockets didn't really fully come back into this game was because in that third quarter, when LeBron was shooting and couldn't really hit, Westbrook couldn't really hit, weren't really feeding AD. AD wasn't being aggressive, wasn't trying to get the ball, wasn't trying to, post up. A couple times he had Eric Gordon, and I've honestly just become accustomed to it where I'm like, all right, that's what AD is. He doesn't want to be a superstar that brings it every night and dominates. He doesn't want to be that, because we see it in his body language and his decisions on the court. And you know what? That Laker fans may think I'm hating because the Lakers still won and whatnot, but nah, you're not going to be that lucky against other teams when he's playing that way, because LeBron didn't have a great shooting night. Neither did Westbrook. They both shot on under 50%, and the Lakers shot only 40% as a team. And that's not because the Rockets played that great of defense. They have some athleticism on that team, but the Lakers, they got a little comfortable, started, trying to get fancy and put on some nice plays for the crowd. Melo honestly did his thing, but I thought the Rockets could have gotten back into the game if they weren't turning the ball over so much. And a lot of them were just completely unforced, ridiculous turnovers. It was a joke. Terrible. I mean, it was just such bad basketball. Stu was even joking around about that they could, contest the turnover record, but it was just bad basketball in that third quarter. 21-19 in favor of the Lakers in the third. And then the Rockets outscored the Lakers in the fourth because they got comfortable, even though the Lakers started off the fourth pretty well. And by the way, some good pick and rolls tonight with DeAndre Jordan and Westbrook at the top of the key. DJ finishing with some reverse jams. LeBron with that reverse jam in the first half. Oof. That was the L train. Reminded me of the Cleveland days. He had a pep in his step the other night, LeBron. He was my player of the game. I thought he was good defensively too. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, a block, only 2 turnovers. 6 of 19 and 0 of 6 from 3. That's the thing about Bron, though. I think that he wasn't shooting all that much in the first half. So he just kind of, wasn't really shooting too many jumpers. He was operating in the post, and his jumper can be inconsistent. Even at this day and age, it's much better than it was before. But when he's not really getting those shots up early in the game from deep, which he really wasn't tonight, it doesn't really get going sometimes for him. And that's the thing. We'll see how that bodes going forward. It's just interesting because all these guys sacrificed their stats tonight and they won. And that's exactly what they got to do. Westbrook is actually the one of the big three that ended up getting the best looking stat line as the Lakers win the game and avoid a little scare at the end from Houston. 95-85. AD started playing a little bit better towards the end. And when he got the ball in the low post, there was one play where he got the ball against Eric Gordon and scored, just easy turn over the right shoulder, like 6-foot jump little hook or whatever, not even a jump hook, a little push shot one-hander. And Stu Lance was like, AD against the 6'4" Eric Gordon. When he gets the ball against him, he's going to score. Yeah, well, why doesn't he just do that every time he gets him on him? Because other than that, it's a wasted possession if the Lakers don't score. Be great, man. Whatever. Russell Westbrook, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, only 2 turnovers. 9 of 22 from the field. He shot more than AD and LeBron. As a Laker fan, I don't if you're a Laker fan, I do not like that. But it was okay tonight. But I don't like him shooting more than AD or LeBron. I personally think if I'm a Laker fan, I like AD shooting the most, LeBron, Westbrook. But I also don't think it needs to be that calculated. You got to just play in the flow of the game. The Lakers won tonight. But I also think they got to look to get AD going more, and he's got to be more assertive. 16 points, 7 to 17. Nah. So, that was it for the Lakers tonight. They got the job done. I don't even care about the Rockets stats. There's no point even talking about it. But yeah, Carmelo Anthony, 23 points, 8 of 14 from the field. DeAndre was 8 points and 4 of 4 from the field. I'm going to talk about the Premier League for a second. Arsenal, they've really turned this ship around. Mikel Arteta has finally gotten a chance to really get his signings in. And guys like Gabriel, guys like Ben White. And honestly, I slept on Ben White. I didn't think he was that good because of the first couple games, but he's been really solid next to Gabriel. He even has the ability to kind of charge forward Antonio Rudiger style at times, and it kind of impresses me. He's not that bad with his feet. I think Gabriel, he's just changed his whole team when he's come into the side. He's been great. Tomiyasu's been great at right back. A big win away from home at the King Power Stadium against Leicester this weekend, 2-0. And they've been good lately. The win against, I think it was Aston Villa, 3-0. They played great in that one. Just playing a really attractive, playing attractively. Like, they're a fun team to watch right now with the young players. Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka, moving the ball quick. Aubameyang trying to get back in his groove. Thomas Partey, very solid player. Sambi Lakanga, all these guys, these young players, moving a little pep in their step, moving the ball fast. And Arsenal, they could creep up on some teams, and they look like they're going to be ending up in those Europa League spots. And yeah, Aaron Ramsdale, good shout out in the chat. He was unbelievable, and he has been unbelievable. Leicester had their chances, but Ramsdale did such an amazing job. And poor Bernd Leno, because he's a solid keeper as well. But wow, Aaron Ramsdale, he has been unbelievable. Like, just top class. And speaking of top class, let's move on to Chelsea, my squad. Top of the league and continuing their winning ways at Newcastle. St. James Park has not been an easy place for us over the years. Chelsea fans are familiar. I've had some memories of us losing at St. James, even with teams of the highest quality when we're talking Chelsea. And, no Lukaku with the injury, no Timo Werner with the injury. Where were the goals going to come from? Tuchel started a front three of Ziyech on the left. He hasn't done much at all this season. Kai Havertz is the false nine up top. And then on the right, Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's been playing very well lately. I like the rest of our team, seeing N'Golo Kante back in the side. But we couldn't do anything. We didn't have that creativity. And that's something we lack sometimes when teams park the bus on us, put 10 men behind the ball. We struggle to score. And we were struggling to score in that first half, struggling to create any chances. But in the second half, the moment of brilliance came when Callum Hudson-Odoi made a nice run down the left-hand side, lofted a ball into the box. It came to Reece James, who absolutely lashed his left boot around that thing into the top left corner to break the deadlock. And I was loving it. He has been unbelievable this season, defensively, going forward, making the winning penalties against teams in the Carabao Cup. He has just been a breath of fresh air. His service, his passes leading up to attacks, and then the second strike as well by Reece James. It was a little bit of an empty net, but he hit it hard, so the keeper had no chance to get back in a position. Wow. And then obviously Jorginho penalty to seal the deal. But 3-0 for Chelsea, another win, taking care of business away from home. Another great 3-0 result. We are not conceding goals at all, and you got to give a shout out to Mendy. Speaking of Ramsdale, great goalkeeper Mendy. Becoming one of the best keepers in the world in front of our eyes. Shout out Petr Cech, my favorite goalie of all time. Tied with Tim Howard around. I'd maybe give Cech the edge, though. I love Petr. But scouting department, finding Mendy and bringing him here, or I shouldn't say here, bringing him to London, bringing him to my club, and Champions League winner. I'm pretty sure he won European Goalkeeper of the Year. Fact check me, UEFA Goalkeeper of the Year. Fact check me, chat, if you can. But it has just been fantastic. And you got to get that FIFA rating up, man. But Andreas Christensen, Thiago Silva, and Antonio Rudiger, especially, in my opinion, have just been incredible this season. Shut down. Ben Chilwell's been fantastic lately. Even Alonso had a great start to the season, but Chilwell's come in and done a job so far as well. Just a fantastic performance by the lads all around. And Man City dropping points again at home because of another red card. So that's huge for us. Losing to Crystal Palace, who have put up some really good performances lately, beating City now, and of course, getting that point away from home at the Emirates Stadium to Arsenal. The other game I watched was Man United and Tottenham. Tottenham, no juice, man. Harry Kane looks disinterested. Skip looks out of his league. And Bruno Fernandes, great ball over the top to Cristiano Ronaldo. What a strike that first one was. Second one was fantastic as well. But man, oh no, it wasn't. I'm sorry, he didn't score the second one. That was ruled offside. But a nice through ball to Edinson Cavani for the goal. It's different formation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going 5 at the back, and I'm actually happy United won because, as I said in the other streams, I don't want Antonio Conte to get hired as their manager. So seeing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer win, he always seems to keep his job alive with that result at the end when his job is on the line, huh? Ronaldo, though, incredible strike on that volley. That was fantastic on that first goal. Big win for United, 3-0. I hope they stay in the title race because they're pretenders. Top of the league, Chelsea, baby. We're going to win the league. Now you're going to believe it. Tonight you better believe it. Tonight you're going to believe it. We're going to win the league. Rams getting another win as well. A very light schedule, I might say, for the Rams lately. Detroit Lions last week, the week before New York Giants, and this week the Texans, and we beat them up. Another good game for Matt Stafford, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, who's just having a hell of a season, Leonard Floyd, the whole defense, everybody doing their jobs. Not much to say. That's going to be it for the live tonight, guys. We're going to go to the live subscribers now. I want to say this is going to be my last live for a bit. My next video will be out tomorrow. I'm sorry, no, it'll be out on Tuesday. That'll be the Clippers OKC vlog. Hopefully the Clippers break their little 2-game losing streak against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Second time SGA has been back to Staples Center with fans, I believe, since the trade. So I'm excited to see our guy SGA because I only saw him one time as a Clipper, actually. So looking forward to it. That vlog will be coming. Graduation video will be the next one after that. Hopefully I can get Coach Steve's video that I'm still out. I'm still going to try to do that and hopefully make some posts on Instagram over the break. Probably not Twitter, and minimal Instagram probably because I'm going to enjoy this trip and you're going to see it. Hopefully I can get some good videos. All right, guys, peace out. Thanks for joining me. Let me know what you think. As far as the audio, if I don't post Coach Steve's video, this will be the last episode. So thank you, listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you leave a rating. Give me a 5-star if you want, or a 4-star if you think I need something to work on. Remember, I'm always taking criticism, always taking feedback. Peace out, y'all, and now to the chat. 23 minutes on the dot, like I'm Jordan. What you guys got for me tonight? Yup. What's up, Lake Show? What's up, Jeremiah? People talking about AD at the 5. Images EA asks, how do you feel about Austin Reeves comparing himself to Joe Ingles? I don't know, just because they're white. Ernesto George says, Dime, I'm a big Lakers fan, but I don't like the way we look right now. What's up with the Clippers? How bad are they? Check out my last video if you want to talk about the Clippers. Bishop Mon says, anyone else's audio cutting out? Damn, I forgot to go to the good Wi-Fi tonight. That's probably a reason why. Hope the quality comes out good, guys. My apologies. Will be better. Won't happen again. I see my boy Ryan's in the chat talking about Fateh. Kyle Kuzma says, I'm thoughts on Messi about to win his 7th Ballon d'Or. Look, I think that people have been talking about Jorginho winning it. And with all due respect, I love Jorginho. But I just don't think he's Ballon d'Or quality. I think that just because he was on the Champions League winning team and because he was on the Italian Euro Cup winning team doesn't mean that he should win Ballon d'Or. I genuinely think that he's good, but don't think he's that quality. And it's not just because of him that they're winning. And, you know, I don't think that he should ever win it if Messi's still around kicking a ball. And I'm a Chelsea fan, but that's how I feel. Nathan Pegg says, I want to know what you think of Jalen Green. Watching him, you can see some of the talent offensively, but he's definitely going to have to put some weight on and work on his handle because Avery was giving him fits. Yeah, I think you said it well. He's got a lot of potential. He's very athletic, modern kind of player, bouncy, can handle a rock. But, yeah, it's got room to grow. Scipio says James Harden had 16 free throws yesterday. He had the rules figured out. I think maybe it's just because they're putting pressure on the officials, but I didn't watch the game as well. Ryan says, yeah, Mendy won Champions League Keeper of the Year. Thank you for that. I wish I had had that said when the audio was recording still. Am I a fan of Raheem Sterling? Asked Raid. Yes, I've been a big fan of Raheem since his 19-year-old days at Liverpool in the 2014 World Cup when he was the best player for England in that tournament when no one else showed up. Damn, Splash and Skill says Trash Throws 1. Raid Chowdhury says, Darian, what did you think of JJ Redick's comment on Kevin Love being better than 99% of the power forwards? I want to say this about JJ Baby Dick once and for all. I didn't like his ass on the Clippers because he used to always have some injury every playoffs and used to just choke, dude. Choke. Besides 2014, he was a big reason why in the second round we'd always lose. He was an X factor for us. When he played well, we would win. When he was off, we would lose. And there was always some kind of injury to his foot where he couldn't hit jumpers. He also couldn't play defense. He got played off the floor by Joe Ingles. After 2017, I had it with him because when they found out what he's doing off the ball, he couldn't create a shot, couldn't play defense, worthless. Now he's trying to become some basketball aficionado with his little podcast that I actually started listening to in the beginning, but now I don't fuck with him at all because of this constant disrespect to the 60s and 70s. Not only did he bring up the whole part-time worker, 8 teams thing when Chris Bosh was actually giving Bill Russell his flowers, he said that thing about, oh, they wouldn't be able to play today, the majority of them. Like, dude, they learned how to dribble a different way. As you guys know, is the NBA getting better and better. The dribbling of the basketball is something that just is not talked about and needs to be talked about on a 30-minute to an hour special where they talk about how players have been allowed to carry and palm or what would have been carrying palming in the past and how dribbling has lineated by the way the game has been called over time. They should make a documentary on that to fix everyone's fucking mind on that shit because now you got professional players with credibility, quote unquote, getting hired by ESPN that are going to spew this nonsense, man, and it's disrespectful. He has Jerry West. He's been an exec on teams that he's been on, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe his ass left when we hired Jerry West. I don't even know. He's been around players that have been from that era, and he's going to say, oh, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, those are the only guys that can play in the modern NBA, whatnot. So Archie Clark can't play in the NBA back then. So Wally Jones can't play in the NBA back then. So Jeff Mullins can't play in the NBA today. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. All those guys playing today. So Chet Walker couldn't. So Casey Jones just couldn't. He's just, TJ McConnell is the new Howie Comives, or Grant Williams is the evolutionary John Tresvant, or Paul Millsap is the evolutionary Happy Hairston. Like it's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And as far as that Kevin Love comment, just so stupid. Percent of the power forwards on the list. So obviously, I know JJ Baby Dick's ignorant ass is going to have Dolph Shays off, Bob Pettit off, Dave DeBusschere off, any white guy from the pre-3-point line era. Who was the other one? I guess I said, yeah, Dolph Shays, Bob Pettit, Dave DeBusschere. But, a list with Elvin Hayes, Kevin McHale, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Anthony Davis. And you're talking about Kevin Love is better than 99% of that? Like, bro, I wouldn't even have Kevin Love over Pau Gasol. Is Kevin Love even better than Amari Stoudemire in his prime? Is he better than Zach Randolph in his prime? What about Blake Griffin? I'd even go there with that because that was a real thing, Blake Griffin and Kevin Love. Chris Bosh, come on, son. Like, get out of here, man. You don't deserve to be talking basketball anymore on the big platform saying that shit. Austin Rivers would be like a Hall of Famer playing against Bob Cousy. Dude, Austin Rivers learned to dribble differently. He does moves that are not allowed back then. Like some of the shots that Austin Rivers takes and that step back he does, that dude, like that's a travel, that gather. Like these guys are so ignorant, man. It just pisses me the fuck off. I don't fuck with Baby Dick. I don't fuck with Baby Dick at all. Let me read the questions. When and if Kawhi comes back this season, do you still want Bledsoe to come off the bench? I know now you're T-Man starting over him. Yes, Bledsoe off the bench, Lake Show. Jonathan Jacob Q says, in your opinion, what's worse? Warriors choking a 3-1 lead in 2019 or the Falcons choking a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl? The Warriors didn't choke a 3-1 lead in 2019. I assume you're talking about 2016, and I say 2016 because you get 3 chances. Anakin Mohan says, thoughts on AD being disengaged? I think they're just trying to find a balance, personally, my guy. Edward Vera says Jamal Crawford was a playoff choke too. Let's be honest. You can say that, Edward, but at least Jamal Crawford could create his own shot. Difference. I was more okay with him missing because at least he takes pressure off the he puts pressure on the defense at the very least. He was able to carry us in 2016 even though we lost. He was able to make those games close, man. That's why I like Jamal. Nah, splashing skills. I don't think JJ anymore is a good podcast because if he's gonna keep trashing the past, I don't fuck with it. Yeah, I just don't respect those people. I'm not gonna give you my listen. Joey Sixpack says, any concerns about the Bulls? Man, my bad. I didn't talk about them. I think Levine needs to be the closer. Lonzo needs to stop getting scared of driving. I agree with both of those takes. Yeah. Great win against the Jazz, though, giving them their first loss of the season. That's big. Joey Sixpack says, if Kuzma has a good season, does it go to show LeBron doesn't make everyone better and holds young players back? I think we already know that, but it's showing it more. But yeah, guys, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, JJ, so disrespectful, man. Yeah, like, seriously, though, I was thinking about it. Like, I don't like this idea that, like, we say, yeah, but the average player just couldn't play today. Like, why? Like, are these guys not NBA players to you? Like, is Bojan Bogdanovic like the evolutionary Jack Marin? Like, do you guys know who that is? Like, if you guys actually know who that is, I think, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, Duncan Robinson is like a white guy just like running around shooting the ball. Like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, yeah, JJ Redick would find he's so poised in his craft the way he comes off his screens. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like, Ish Smith. Oh, the evolutionary Archie Clark. Come on, man. Archie Clark crossed over so these guys can carry over. He walked so they could run. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate you. Oh, man. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Jared Allen, the evolutionary Leroy Ellis. Nikola Jokic, the evolved athlete. Evolution. Listen to these clowns, man. Listen to these fucking clowns. Oh my God, dude. Reggie Miller, James Harden. Probably Harden, but I have to watch Miller. I like Miller more. I'd rather have him on my team. If James Harden can't win this year, Reggie Miller. Just don't fuck with that fool. Any last questions before I leave? By the way, go check out my videos. The real question is older generation nicknames or current player nicknames? Ask QA. Easily older generation nicknames. Come on, man. Earl the Pearl Monroe, Jumpin' Johnny Green. Yeah, what about Marvin Bagley, whose grandpa was better than him? Evolution. Jumpin' Joe Caldwell, Pogo Joe, Sweet Lou Hudson. Yeah, man. Now we have Bradley Beal, the evolved Sweet Lou Hudson. Come on. We have LaMelo Ball, the evolved Pistol Pete Maravich. And we have Luke Kennard, the evolved Howie Comives. Jordan Clarkson, the evolved Dave Stallworth. Giannis, the evolutionary Wilt. No, I'd say LeBron's like the evolutionary Wilt or the Gus Johnson Wilt hybrid. Giannis is pretty unique. I'd say Giannis is more like Ralph Sampson, but more toughness, or like David Robinson. with minus like the mid post skill. I don't know. I wouldn't say Wilt. Wilt had more skill than Giannis in the back to basket game, and I think Wilt's a better passer too. All right, guys. Peace out.